What's up and welcome back to the Broken Mask Show. Today's going to be a little bit of a different video because me and Chris are going to be bringing something to the channel that we've wanted to for a while.
Movie reviews.
So yesterday, me and him went to go see the new Tmnt in theaters.
And Blue Beetle.
and we wanted to do a full breakdown. So if you haven't seen this movie yet or you haven't had a chance to go to the theaters, spoiler alert, go to the theater right now to be able to go look at this movie and then come back to our video.
There's a breakdown and spoiler review.
To start off, just want to say this movie was a 9 out of 10. I think both me and Chris can really agree on that. So for when we start off with this movie, you have the great Giancarlo Esposito's character who plays Baxter Stockman.
Giancarlo, like as y'all know, he's Gus Fring from Breaking Bad in Better Call Saul.
In his basement, he's creating like these type of creatures and stuff like that, and he's doing like this type of formula. And to TMNT fans, you know, it's known as the ooze. But things go sideways when a SWAT team member known as the raided. TCRI. He gets raided. The TCR comes in. Because the TCRI is looking for a way to be able to make mutant weapons for the military. So Stockman has a basement full of tiny creatures that resemble a lot of like familiar TMNT faces, such as like a pig or like a baby rhino or whatever. And for us, we know that's kind of like Rocksteady and Bebop. There's also this giant fly. It's like more than like just a regular fly.
Like a pet fly.
Yeah, a big pet fly. So when the TCRI shows up, all hell breaks loose when the fly's being let loose and the team's wrecking the whole place. The fly decides he's going to be able to take matters into his own hand. He's going to go and injure each one of these members. Someone fires a bullet and there's like the room winds up blowing up.
It's a gas chamber and the whole thing fucking explodes.
Oh yeah. And then like a lot of the animals are let loose and like the fly's missing.
And
some
my
other
boy
vials of
Baxter
the ooze.
Stockman dies.
Yes, in the beginning of the movie.
But one thing he does before he dies is he kicks a little vial of the ooze, and it falls into the sewers. And as y'all know where this is going. when it gets to the sewers, into the team universe, y'all know where this is going.
So now we have like a little time jump. We get our first look at the turtles, and they're going on a grocery run for Master Splinter. They say some kind of quote, and it's along the lines of like humans are basically the scum of the earth, and just to not really interact them at all. They sneak around. There's a few obvious brand deals in this movie, specifically Doritos.
Basically, just sneaking around trying to get the stuff they need because they don't really want to be seen because they've like constantly been told by their dad that they cannot be seen by humans because if they do, they're gonna like get tortured, they're gonna get kidnapped, and they're gonna be in cartel videos, and, like they're gonna be beheaded and shit.
Yeah. And apparently Batman also exists in this universe with a reference made to like Leo sounding like him.
Yeah, he's trying to be all big and bad and trying to do like a cool speech, make his voice deep, but his brother just think he's lame as hell.
Along with Batman, there's also a reference to Drake and Beyonce. There's also this joke about going to Flavortown, which was, I guess, like a little bit of humor into it.
So they get all their stuff, all their like groceries and shit. They get their Doritos, their Mountain Dew, their pizza and shit, and they got some time. They got some time to kill, so they go see a movie and like right there while they're watching the movie, they're like realizing like, oh, life shouldn't be this way. We shouldn't have to like hide in the shadows. We should be out of the shadows and like be with the public and shit. You know, they just want to be normal guys and like even gets a hint of, like Leo want to like find love and shit. He just wants some cheeks.
And so we then get our first look at Jackie Chan's character, who is Master Splinter. He voices Master Splinter. And he's worried that the boys have been out too long. And so then Leo, who's basically been up his ass just like his entire life, confesses that along with grabbing these groceries, they also went to go see this movie, and it causes Master Splinter to freak out, and he gives all of them a lecture. He gives them all a lecture, but for us, it's more so a backstory as to how they all came to be.
It was so cute, man. So wholesome.
And they do it in like the most real way, where like Splinter is hated by everyone. He's a rat in New York City, so like everybody hates rats. They're not really gonna mess with rats and stuff like that. And like
if they can react to that like as a normal rat, imagine how people will react to a big ass human sized rat.
Mm-hmm. So that's along the way he winds up coming across these 4 baby turtles. He's had like humans and animals and all kinds of things that just really hate him. But when he comes across these 4 baby turtles, he realizes this is like the first like thing that's not absolutely out to kill him.
No, there was that little cockroach.
Oh yeah, there's the cockroach. But
so they killed him.
Yeah, they wanted to kill him right in front of him. But
killed his homie right in front of his eyes.
With these turtles, just not wanting to kill him, he decides that he's gonna be able to take him in. Then there's this whole sequence where like all of the turtles grow up and everything like that. They have been like affected by this ooze that fell into the sewer. And you get to see as Master Splinter decides to be able to raise these turtles just like any father would, like for a child. And as he's going about their life and stuff like that, their turtles are now like they want to have some kind of human interaction. They see like the city lights through like a sewer drain, and they're like, we want to go out. And Splinter is kind of hesitant at first, just because of how he knows like how the world reacted to him when he was just a regular rat, and he figured maybe it would be the same as a big rat. But he decides to take the turtles out, and amongst doing that, you have like everyone just freaks out. Like what was it? They thought he was wearing a mask. Just like they just completely freaked out.
It's like I said earlier. If people can react that way to normal rats, imagine how they react to a human-sized rat.
Mm-hmm. And so then there's like this part where like one of the turtles almost get hit by a car, and he's like, okay, nah. Picks up the turtles, takes them back home, realizes that humans are not for him, and he raises them to like now know you don't interact with humans because they're going to milk them, and that just seemed like a weird aspect throughout the rest of the movie. They keep mentioning it. Yeah, they kept mentioning it. But anyway, with all this, he decides that they need to figure out some kind of way to be able to protect themselves, and so thus the Ninja Turtles are born.
But they learn it through DVDs.
Mm-hmm. It's like DVDs and bits of.
How did they actually learn like their fighting skills?
What, like originally, or you're talking about this movie? Well, it depends on what movie you go through, because like Splinter, like in the first, like back in like the 80s or 90s or 80s movie, whichever one it was like he was like a rat who like he was like doing kung fu and like matching like his owner.
And then he taught the turtles.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so it really depends on which one that you kind of go by.
It's whatever. A lot of people had there was a lot of controversy with that. They didn't really like it, but each like adaptation of these turtles is different variations. So
well, that's something that I like, because they each have their own spin whenever it comes to these movies.
Yeah, as long as they can fight, is all good.
So then the turtles decided that they're gonna go out and have a bit of fun. They're throwing ninja stars and stuff like that on the roof. They get grounded first. Well, yeah, they get grounded, and then
they're ungrounded. They're out there throwing ninja stars, and they're almost trying to kill Mikey.
Yeah, they have like a watermelon that's like the size of Mikey's head, and he has like some kind of joke about like, hey, why we have to get a fruit that looks exactly like my head. But anyway, when throwing one of these ninja stars, it winds up going over the edge, and it winds up hitting where we get to see Ao Edebri. What I can't pronounce her name, but I know
April O'Neil.
Well, it's April O'Neil, but I'm saying who the actress is. I know it's April O'Neil. I'm not getting tongue-tied on that, but it's the girl who played in The Bear, if you didn't know that.
Oh.
Yeah, so she played April's character, which The Bear is another great show. You should probably check that out. But anyway, she freaks out because now she has a ninja star in her helmet and everything. And as she's freaking out, she's yelling at the turtles. Her bike gets stolen. And now we see the turtles, they have their first fight because they want to go after, like, trying to be to stand up and be heroes. And, like, they go to have their fight.
Mostly because Leo wants to cuff her.
Yeah.
We should go down and talk to her, check in on her.
Yeah, what's your pickup line?
He really likes April, which it was a little bit of a different spin. Because usually you have, like, it's either Michelangelo or Raphael that usually has the love interest. And now for the first time it's Leo. So that's a little bit different. But something I liked in their the first fight scene that you get to see in the movie, really, like, you see how unexperienced they really are. Like, even though, like, they know how to be to do all these ninja moves and stuff like that, it's
they
like
don't know
really,
what they're doing.
Yeah. So, like, they defeat the thugs. They wind up getting the bike back to April, and she's introduced to the turtles for the first time, and she wants to write a story on them because that's just the stuff that she does. And if you're a Tmnt fan, then you know that usually she works for, like, the news report and stuff like that. They want so badly to be known by everybody as heroes and stuff, and, like, with getting word that there's, like, a criminal organization that's known, like, led by Superfly, or that's what the name is, they decide to go looking for him. And we get to see, like, that another really cool fight scene where it's like they, like...
they each one leads the group into, like, to fight these different mob groups.
Mm-hmm.
I just really like.
And it was like 5 or 6 different fight scenes where it's like kicks and nunchucks are being thrown and stuff like that. And each time, like, someone throws a kick, it kind of, like, spins the camera around. And that was really cool.
So after Turtles beat up all these mob groups and all these mob groups rat out my boy Superfly, the April gets all the evidence and she needs more evidence. So she goes to school and she what'd she do? Like,
she went there for, like, all, like, because that's where she kept all the evidence and stuff like that.
She got, like, you know how FBI shit, she had, like, them, like
the pinpoints.
Yeah, pinpoints,
like
on the
thumbtacks with the string and, like, maps and stuff like that.
Yep. So, yeah, and that's where the Turtles are in the high school for the first time, and they see this locker that says Puke Girl and also says whore in there. That's one thing I was like, I turned the camera over watching the movie. I was just like, what if that shit said whore? But yeah, they realized that this is April's locker, and the reason why she, like, so easily bonds with them is because she's used to also getting, like, picked on and, like, being called names and shit. So that's why they're, like, they're close, but not that close. We'll get more into that later. So yeah, it just cuts to a flashback where the reason she's called Puke Girl is because, as y'all know, she does the reporting and shit. And the first time she was on camera,
it was like for the morning announcements for her high school.
Yeah, she just puked all over, and, like, during that scene, I had snuck alcohol, and I just hated that my childish ass ended up laughing at that. I almost spilled my whole drink, but it was in slow-mo and shit, and, like, they repeated it over and over.
They made memes out of her and, like, even made a reference to her being on a TikTok.
Yeah, and she just went viral.
Yeah, then the Turtles, they finally figure out a way to have some kind of a meeting with Superfly, and to their surprise, he's, like, an actual fly. They didn't see that one coming. They thought that he was supposed to be someone else. And I think it was kind of cool. Superfly is played by Ice Cube. And the way they did his character design, it was like an old, like, Ice Cube haircut, like back when he was doing, like, singing Straight Outta Compton and stuff like that.
Almost. It just he almost had, like, the slick back, and it was like the real jump up here.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was, like, his design for Superfly was almost like he was bald, but they did get, like, the size right.
Yeah. So yeah, then there's this whole scene where, like, they get together and everything like that. They're out having fun.
That introduction was so sick. Like, the damn Bruno Mars song that they played.
And Superfly winds up telling him like his whole plan as to like what he's supposed to be doing. He's been stealing parts from the TCRI to be able to build some kind of like machine that's going to turn humans into like his own slaves or like fuel resource.
No,
and turn all
it turns it turns all animals that gets like the damn fume into mutants, and like since the mutants will be heavily overpopulated, they would turn like they would turn humans into like slaves and like sex workers and shit.
Shit.
Like basically like how we would treat aliens like in real life. Well, how they are in real life.
With what we got going on right now,
Yeah.
the way people are treating like aliens, they
Like
have sex
if it
with
was
them and
ever
stuff.
known how would we actually treat aliens, that's how Superfly would treat the humans.
Yeah, so what the Turtles wanted to be heroes, and April just basically being a bitch in their ear the whole time. They got like earpieces in and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're like Superfly reveals that he's like actually like cousins with the Turtles basically. And like basically April's just in their ear saying like, so when you gonna catch him? Like when you gonna fight him? When you gonna bring him in? And they're like, God damn, this is the part I really didn't like April's character a little bit. I was just like, God damn, bitch. Well, just let them enjoy their time. Like they're out and like they're out having fun with their cousins and shit. They're bowling. They're eating pizza. They're at the arcade and shit.
They decided to take a stand against like Superfly at the end of all this, because like they want to be heroes and stuff, and they wind up taking like April's advice, and they're like, yeah, we need to go ahead and do this. So they take a stand. You get like this long driving battle where it's like
It was a chase sequence.
yeah, and like they're all like in different cars and stuff like that. And in the middle of this battle, when they're trying to be able to take everything away from Superfly, he winds up getting the weapon anyway, or getting the part for the weapon.
Turtles lose.
Yeah, the Turtles lose. They wind up like driving off of a cliff, and the TCRI shows up because they had like a tracking device that they had put on this the part and everything. And so now the Turtles wind up getting caught by the TCRI.
Surrounded.
And you see April, she's like up on the bridge and she just drives away. And you're just like, damn, like so she really was just using them that whole time. So the Turtles are caught by the TCRI, and just as Master Splinter said, they're hooked up to a machine that is like milking them of their ooze.
They're just stroking my boys, man.
Stop me!
They all think that this is it and they're gonna die, and just at that moment, that's where Master Splinter comes in.
Yeah, because April had actually went to Splinter, got Splinter to go help their boys, and they fight the whole TCRI.
And you see, something that I thought was really cool is that like Master Splinter, like usually he gets kind of sidelined, like he either gets injured in some of these movies or like he just doesn't have enough screen
He gets
time.
a lot to do.
Yeah, for this one, and Chris, he made a reference because Master Splinter winds up getting to use all of the weapons.
Oh yeah,
He made
the
a reference
nunchucks,
to
the staff,
the swords and
the
the
little swords, and the katana. And I just like go to him like, last Ronin reference.
So yeah, then along with Master Splinter coming out, April winds up coming out, and that's where the Turtles realize, okay, maybe she's not such a bitch. She's like, she actually came to help save, and she even went against like our say so of like not talking to Master Splinter. But now we're gonna skip ahead just a bit. The Turtles and Master Splinter, they wind up going to see Superfly's lair for the first time, and that's where they get to see the rest of the mutants and the machine that's put together. They basically try and convince all the mutants to not go about doing this machine and everything like that.
The Turtles, Naruto, talk no jutsu, the mutants out of them. They actually convinced them to join the Turtle side.
Except for Superfly.
Yeah.
Superfly is the only one who wants to take a stand against everybody else.
So the Turtles are like, and the other mutants are like, alright, we just gonna jump your ass then.
Yeah.
And they beat my boy up. Superfly actually, he gets the upper hand. And, well, he almost gets up the upper hand. They all like...
they were holding on to him, and then
they're
like...
pinning him down.
Splinter's
big football hurdle.
Yeah, and Splinter's like in the back, and he's like just watching as this all goes down.
And Superfly sees Splinter, and he was like, "Yo, Ratman, why don't you help me out? We're basically like the same guy. Like we both want what's best for our families. We want the same thing. Like I'm just not a little bitch like you." It's basically what he said to Splinter, and Splinter gets all mad and like
it's
he
like
trucks,
pissed off, like most pissed off he's been.
And Superfly falls onto the machine. He gets like zapped, and like it like blows up, right?
It like falls into the water.
Yeah, it falls into the water.
And that's where, you have a machine. It's pointed towards New York City. It's supposed to turn all these animals into mutants. And when this machine falls into the water with a bunch of marine life, I mean, it's like, what do you think's gonna happen? The machine goes off. It combines all this marine life and then Superfly together, and they wind up becoming this giant mutant. So
Comes
now
out with the body of a whale. He has like horses as legs and stuff.
Well, horses came for when he actually came on land.
Oh,
but
yeah.
He had like sea turtles like on his stomach and everything like that, and he had like dolphins and like all different kinds of marine life. And he heads towards New York, and that's where he comes across like this zoo and like just has the legs of horses. So yeah, then you have it to where like Leo, he stands up, he's like, all right, I'm a leader. I need to figure out what it is that we're about to do.
Like, Monkey, do whatever you gotta do. Raph, rage as much as you want. And Donnie, you know the most out of all of us. You know you could come up with an idea. And the idea he comes up with, and I kid you not, I could not believe this when I was watching this. He mentions, Attack on Titan. And I said, no fucking way they're about to do like some, like, Survey Corps type moves on the fucking Superfly mutant. Like, you know, like the spinny shit, like they go up with like their zip lines and shit. I thought they were about to do that, but nah. Kind of like drew the movie off for me, I ain't gonna lie.
Well, that's they wound up saying it's like oh yeah, the weakness for a Titan is like on the back of his neck.
Yeah, back of his neck.
And that's the reason, like that's the
That's
whole
how
thing
they
for
come up
Attack on
with the
Titan. So now with the plan in tow and the turtles are going after the mutant.
And a badass scene like Avengers Endgame type shit where like Avengers assemble, they all like on water, right?
Mm-hmm.
They all go into New York and beat my boy Superfly up. They jump him again.
And
with
it being like on the news and stuff like that, all the New Yorkers, they're like still freaked out. Like the mutants, they think every mutant is bad, not just Superfly being giant and everything like that.
It's like causing a lot of damage.
And this
Almost
is where
like a Zack Snyder film.
this is where we see April come in again, and she goes to like the news station and she decides to be able to tell the whole world that she sits down in front of the camera. She tells everybody,
She conquers her fear.
Yeah, and she says, she's like, hey, the turtles are actually good, and she gets to like the whole speech, and so then right when you think that everything's about to be good, she throws up all over the place again. Like you really thought that was about to be it, but something that I thought was a pretty cool scene. After people see this on the news, it was like a reference to like Spider-Man almost, like from the first one, when like everyone teamed up to fight against Green Goblin, and it was like the one guy, he's like,
you mess with Spider-Man, you mess with all of us.
Or it was like, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
Oh yeah.
But
New Yorkers.
Then there was also like some cranes and stuff like that was like in the movie that were flown up, and it reminded me a lot of Amazing Spider-Man as well. Yeah, they wound up defeating Superfly using this Attack on Titan method. And so now we're getting towards the end of the movie finally. Now that we're at the end, something that was weird to me that happened was just like with all the mutants deciding to live together. That was like really strange because like I know specifically like in my mind, when I think about like villains, I think about like, of course, Shredder is like a main one, but like Rocksteady and Bebop.
Metal Gecko.
Those are like ones that I think of to be villains and not to be friends and living with them. So I think that's going to be interesting to see how that turns out. And then also a callback to the Roach from earlier. Mm-hmm. You have Master Splinter who ends up getting freaky with a different kind of like female roach.
Yeah, he got a roach fetish.
Yeah, that was kind of wild.
That was so weird, man. Cause that roach had like no
Like it couldn't speak or anything.
Yeah,
like
no
that.
IQ.
It was like it would like spit up a bunch and it was like like I was like, what the hell? But I do think it's gonna be interesting how everything's gonna play out because they're confirmed for a second movie and
2 seasons on. I'm pretty sure it's Nickelodeon or
Paramount
Plus.
Yeah, Paramount Plus. And then at the end you get the not an after credit scene, but like the very end of the movie you get like that the setup for the second movie.
Yeah, it's
and
the
it seems
lady
like it's
that
gonna
was
be
early in the movie. So if y'all don't know, it's her last name has to do with Crane, which is one of another major Tmnt villains. She recruits Shredder to go after the Turtles, and which is something I did not really like because I don't really like Shredder being as like a henchman type joint, like how they did with him.
Leader.
Yeah, he needs to be like the big Thanos of the TMNT and shit.
But so now after that you get this credits start rolling. You get like one mid-credit scene. I thought was kind of cool, where like the Turtles are now accepted into this high school, and with them having like all of their own like groups and stuff like that they're a part of. You had what was it, like Raphael was like doing wrestling.
Yeah, I really wanted to see him do football for some reason.
Yeah.
Mikey is like in the act. He's in a like
improv
theater class.
Yeah. Donnie was with
the computer geeks, like
yeah,
the kids in the lunchroom table that you see with like the Nintendo Switches and shit. He's with them, and Leo went with the girl.
Went with April, yeah, to be like I guess like on yearbook or like for the morning announcements or whatever, and yeah, so now
being a pick-me boy.
That's something that we actually didn't say. A lot of the stuff that's like in this, they say the word Riz and they say the word sus and stuff like that, and it's like to appeal to kids, obviously.
Because this movie was made for kids, not made for us.
Yeah, people who are in their 20s, you don't really see them going to see the movie.
Well, it kind of was because it did a lot of good stuff for the fans and shit.
Yeah. I want to talk about this experience as a whole. So, like, when we're in the theater, right? I'll let you say what happened to your right first.
Well, first off, somebody's in my fucking seat.
Well, yeah.
Somebody was in my seat, and so we're like, all right, I'm gonna give him like till when the movie starts, and now I'm gonna say something and punch him in his face and like in front of the girl and shit. So luckily for him.
For him.
But not good thing there were like 4 other free seats like right next to us. So I just moved there, and I moved to like where this couple was, and I'm guessing like this, I'm guessing they were middle schoolers, or like high schoolers, freshmen kind, or they could have just been our age. He was just trying to like cuddle his girl and shit.
Oh yeah, babe.
Yeah, like all touch upon her and shit. But yeah, it was just kind of getting annoying.
And then for
me,
me,
not annoying. It just kind of felt uncomfortable.
For me, to my left, there was another couple that was sitting like a few seats over, and like this girl, she's sitting completely like just normal, and like towards like the middle of the movie, I see this dude who, for whatever reason, he just decides to turn in his seat, and he like toots his ass up, and he's like sitting like this or whatever, and like just like looking at her while like he's like trying to be like look at the movie or whatever, and it was just really weird.
I want to show you something.
Yeah, he's trying to show me some what the fuck. And then
after that, I don't eat as much.
Well, actually, one thing I want to say is that this man left his wallet in there. Didn't you leave your wallet?
Yeah, I mean, I was a little bit buzzed.
Yeah, he was a little bit buzzed, and he wanted to believe in his wallet, so we had to go back in there and grab that. And then afterwards, of course, like he was saying,
I didn't eat all day. I was at work, so I was like, you know what? We seen TMNT. Let's go get some pizza.
You gotta have pizza if you're gonna be watching the TMNT.
Like me and him, we've been trying to do this thing all year since we hang out a lot. We go and try different places or restaurants we haven't.
And see the stuff we haven't had in a while, or stuff that like we haven't
had
in general.
Which is something that we do want to bring onto the channel. Let us know if you want to see that.
For like vlogging type stuff.
Yeah, we had this real low key spot. It's called it's real local, kind of like low key. Don't nobody
it's like
really
your
know
like mom and pop shop, like Italian type thing.
a small business. It's called Father John's.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, what's it called that?
But no, it's Papa John's. And personally, I haven't had it in 16 years. Chris said, I think it was like at least 2 years that you hadn't had it, maybe 1 or 2 years.
Yeah, I had it like during the pizza party. It was
and
alright.
That's I would say, movie 9 out of 10. The pizza afterwards, I had to give it a 6.5 out of 10, maybe, or maybe a 6 out of 10. Like, personally, I think it's kind of funny that their slogan is it's like better pizza, better price, Papa John's. And I've had a better pizza for a better price. Fuck Papa John's. I'll say it just like that. I may eat Papa John's again, but like for the price, I was just like.
Papa Deal was good, and the stuffed crust was good. That's all I can say about it. And the spicy garlic.
So yeah, guys, I think that's gonna wrap up our first movie review on the channel. Let us know if you want to see more of these in the future. I mean,
we got Chris, a lot of movies coming up, like Blue Beetle. We got Oppenheimer coming up. We got already up.
Yeah, Oppenheimer's already up. And
we got The Nun 2 coming out. We got The Exorcist 2 coming out. We got Blue Beetle coming out.
But let us know if there's any movies that are coming out, or if there's even movies that have already come out, like, at any time. If you know a movie that you want us to have a review on, or break it down, or just say our opinion, even in a shorter video.
I know some of y'all said Velocipaster.
Velocipaster, yeah.
We might have to do a review on that.
But, yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
Is there a full banana peel melting into my head right now?
Yes.
That is unfortunate. What the? Who did that, man? That was probably Krang or something.
Krang was never here. It's just us.
Nah, that was probably Krang, I bet. So nasty. That guy, man.
That's impossible. I would have seen him.
Nah, man. Nah, he was here. He blew ass and then he left.
Bye.